Hey, do you want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating right now. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take your conversation with your fans to the next level, Q&A and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. I've hosted my podcast on Spotify for Podcasters since day one, so I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. I once heard Billy Alsbrooks, who is a motivational speaker and songwriter, say, "Your comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Life can only begin at the end of your comfort zone." And when I heard that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. What is going on, beautiful people? You are listening to the Affirmations for Black Girls podcast, where we focus on personal growth and cultivating a healthy relationship with ourselves. I am your host, Tyra, the creative actress, content creator, and mental health enthusiast. So let's jump into today's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am so glad to have you. Happy Sunday. How did you guys do with your morning routine this morning? Did you attend church? Did you drink your water? Did you have breakfast yet? If not, go ahead and get started on your breakfast or grab a cup of water or your tea so we can dive into this episode. I am super excited about today's episode, actually, because I really feel like this is not something that is talked about often, but we're going to take it there because things happen, life happens, and it is okay. So today we're going to be talking all about finding comfort in discomfort. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like it can't be something that's done, but best believe when I tell you it is something that we can all accomplish. So we're going to jump right into this week's affirmation. And this week's affirmation is, I am at peace even when life gets crazy. I love that so much. I am at peace even when life gets crazy. Feel free to join in with me, or feel free to close your eyes and just sit in the moment as we continue with our affirmation for the week. I am at peace even when life gets crazy. I am at peace even when life gets crazy. I am at peace even when life gets crazy. I am at peace even when life gets crazy. Wow, this affirmation is so powerful, y'all, because even when life gets crazy, we have to have this deep-rooted peace within us so we know how we should move in the situation. There have been so many situations in my life where I just felt like I was holding life by the baby hairs, okay? And I really had to dig down deep and talk to God and be like, God, I really need you to lend me your strength and lend me your peace so I can move through this situation as you would like me to. So I think it's very important to remind ourselves that even when life gets crazy, we should still have peace within us so we can move accordingly for that situation. And like I said, things will always happen. Life is always going to happen as long as we're on this green earth, and that is okay. So if you're ever feeling like you have crazy stuff happening in your life and you just don't know where to turn, go back to this affirmation, and I hope that you find some sort of comfort in it. So I've known for basically my entire life that I hate change and I hate being uncomfortable. And I know hate is a strong word, y'all, but I swear, like, this is really how I felt for most of my life. I hated when plans changed. I hated when people didn't follow through. It just put me in this very uncomfortable place because I like to know what's happening at all times. And I know that has something to do with wanting to control things. We'll touch on that in a later episode. But overall, I knew that I did not like being uncomfortable. And one of the biggest things that put me in an uncomfortable situation was change. So I needed to learn how to let go of control, even if it was just for a little bit of time. I needed to make sure that no matter what life threw at me, even if it was something that came out of left field and I didn't know was happening, I could still move forward peacefully and maybe not comfortably, but confidently. I think one of the earliest examples I have of when I overcame discomfort was when I was in high school. And this is a very serious topic, but I do want to bring it up now, and we'll definitely deep dive into this in a later episode. But I think the first time that I really overcame discomfort and was really excited about my progress was when I found out that my mom and dad were getting a divorce. And this put me in a very uncomfortable situation because I grew up in a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody know your business, all of that kind of stuff. And I was in high school. So I was at this very pivotal age where I really cared about what people thought about me and I wanted to present myself as, this cool girl or this strong person or someone who really had things together. And when I found out that my parents were divorcing, it just shook my entire world. And I was in a constant state of discomfort. But I remember one time I was in my social studies class and I was just saying to myself, Tyra, you still have to live for you. You still have to make the most of your high school experience. You can't just sit and one, pretend that nothing's wrong, and two, not enjoy the time you have left in high school. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be valedictorian of my class. I'm going to play sports and I'm going to have my job and I'm going to get ready to go to college and I'm going to deal with my home life when I'm at home and I'm going to keep it separate from school so I can focus. And that's exactly what I did. So I really found comfort in my discomforting situation because, for one, I set goals and I set expectations for myself. So I had something to look forward to, and I was really proud of myself for doing that. Now, on the flip side of setting goals and having expectations when you're in an uncomfortable situation is that you really need to be self-aware of unhealthy habits or coping mechanisms that you use to avoid the discomfort. And for some people, that can be cigarettes, it could be food, shopping or over shopping, drinking, drugs, or etc. It could be a whole slew of things. For me, what I've noticed more so in the recent years is that one of my most unhealthy habits when I am feeling anxious or I'm uncomfortable is that I will sleep. I will sleep, sleep, sleep. Y'all, I will, let's just call it hibernation because your girl will be sleeping for weeks. And I always just thought that when I was sad or when I was in an uncomfortable situation that I would just get so tired because I was thinking about it all the time. But no, it was my body's way of coping with all of the feelings and all of the things going on in my head, all of my thoughts. My body said, okay, look, we don't want to deal with this. Let's escape to dreamland. Let's be in a place where we don't have to feel. And while sometimes this can be a good thing to give your body time to rest, when you abuse that, it can become so unhealthy and you can end up staying in this uncomfortable situation way longer than you absolutely have to. And before I continue, let's deep dive into what I mean by uncomfortable situations. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's super life altering. It could be anything. For example, let's just say that you just started going to college and now you're living with a roommate and you don't have siblings or you've never shared a room. That can be a very uncomfortable situation to be in. or it can be something a little more uncomfortable, like I mentioned earlier, your parents are getting a divorce. So the spectrum is very vast and it can be a lot of different things. But one thing is for sure, we all need to find comfort in that discomfort because as human beings, that's what helps us move forward in life. So, like I was saying, yes, your girl be hibernating when she's in an uncomfortable situation. And I've recently been talking to my therapist about this, and we have been trying to workshop it because I've been doing this for so long. It's literally second nature to me. So, what I've been doing when I find myself getting very sleepy because I'm in these uncomfortable situations or I'm feeling very anxious, I will deliberately call a friend and say, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to go grab lunch? Hey, you want to run to the mall? Hey, can I come over? I would really like to watch a movie with you. I put myself around my community, and that is super important for me because I am the type of person to isolate when I am feeling a lot of discomfort because I want to just basically sit in my emotions or I want to work through it myself. And sometimes you just need your community as a pick me up, and it can get you out of that rut that you're in so much quicker than you ever really thought it could. And I'm telling you guys, once you learn how to master your discomfort, your life will change. So I once heard Billy Alsbrooks, who is a motivational speaker and songwriter, say, your comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Life can only begin at the end of your comfort zone. And when I heard that, y'all, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, wow, like our comfort zone really needs to die. Like if we really want to experience this thing called life, because we only got one to live, hello, we really need to put our comfort zone to rest. And that can be, I think that's the most scary thing in life, to be completely honest. Moving outside of your comfort zone, especially coming from a small town like I did, our population is like, I looked it up the other day, like the population of my town was like, what, 4,000 people? No, probably not. It was like 2,000 people in St. Francisville. So I really grew up in this tight knit community and I lived there my whole life until I went to college. And that's when I started to, venture out and explore different things. But that also helped me to master discomfort because I was constantly putting myself in new environments. So once I mastered that discomfort, I had new adventures. I stopped procrastinating as much since we procrastinate things that make us uncomfortable or that are out of our comfort zone. We will always put it off. And fun fact, I will say this, your girl definitely I definitely procrastinated launching my podcast because I had never done anything like this before. So, if you want to experience new adventures and stop procrastinating as much and overall just have a more confident outlook on your ability to be a whole human being and experience new things, then you have to master discomfort. And I want to reiterate this. I am saying you have to master the discomfort, not control it. That is two totally different things. And I'm still learning how to release control in my life. And y'all, it's been a journey. But overall, your comfort zone is not somewhere you want to be. If you have grand ideas, if you dream of a life that is bigger than you cannot live in your comfort zone. And I know there are some people who live in their comfort zone just fine and they're okay. They've become complacent or they're genuinely just happy. But for someone like me, my comfort zone cannot exist because the things that I want to accomplish in my life and the changes that I want to make for this world and the things that I want to give from myself to this world, I cannot live. Y'all know I am all about self care, and one of my favorite self care activities at night is listening to a sleep story. So, I've been using this meditation and sleep app called Calm that I think you guys would really like. I mean, I've talked about it a few times on the podcast already, so it's only right that I tell you guys about it. So, I love the sleep stories, and they are the perfect way to wind down and drift off to sleep after a long day. And y'all, to be honest, I recommend the ones that are actually for kids the most because they have fun voices, music, and sound effects. But they also have some that are more meditation based to drift off to sleep as well, which I listen to when I'm feeling anxious or I've had a really tiring day. So I want to help you experience the joy meditation brings to my life. So I'm giving you a 7-day free trial of the Calm app. So head to the link in my show notes to check out the Calm app today and prepare to be more calm on a daily basis. Live in my comfort zone. And it's scary, but your girl is working on it. So, if you are looking to master your discomfort, the first thing that you need to do is start, whatever it is. And recently, for me, that was starting my podcast. I just launched it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna put this out into the world and we just gonna, build a plane on the way down, because if I would have put it off more and more, I probably never would have launched it. And then I wouldn't be talking to y'all today. I literally said I was going to launch this podcast last year on my birthday, which is September 14th, 2020. Y'all, it's June 2021. And I just launched my podcast. This is episode 2. So start whatever it is and don't quit even when it gets tough. You always have to push past your comfort zone, even if it's just a little bit. And sometimes you're not going to get results right away. So don't get discouraged because you failed. Honestly, a failure is better than not trying at all. I would rather fail 1,000 times than to never try anything. Message. I've tried to retrain my brain to think, wow, I just failed. Now I know that it's not done that way, but now I have so much inspiration to doing this another way that will work. And if you don't want to think about it that way, it's experience. Everyone started somewhere, which brings me to my next tip. Embrace the suckiness. Y'all, when I started my YouTube channel or when I started acting, I was horrible, okay? But that did not stop me. And now on my YouTube channel, I have almost 13,000 subscribers. I am making a substantial amount of money every month on YouTube. And as an actress, I've been cast on Netflix in the hit Netflix original sitcom Family Reunion. I would have never thought in a million years that I would have reached this milestone so quickly in my life. And that's only because I embraced the suckiness of learning how to become an actor and learning how to become a YouTuber. And my next tip on mastering your discomfort is to surround yourself with like-minded people. I was just talking to a friend about this, and it's not something that you're taught early on, because think about it. You grew up in a town that your parents moved to. You go to a school with the same people every single year, and you learn how to create your community with what you have. But once you're older and once you're out of college, or not even, once you get to college or after college, you have the choice to surround yourself with people who you actually like. You're not forced to be friends with just anyone. And I think that is so amazing. So really take ownership of your circle and surround yourself with like-minded individuals who will push you out of your comfort zone, because that's what everyone needs in their life. And once you do all of that, make sure you start to celebrate your small successes and your progress. I'm the type of person who doesn't really like to celebrate the small wins, but it's just because of how I grew up and, all of my life experiences that have led me to believe that this isn't really something that you need to celebrate. Yeah, you can be happy, but celebrating it, okay, that's too far. So I've really been working on doing a better job at celebrating the small wins, because everything deserves to be celebrated. And the more that you celebrate the small wins, the easier it'll be for you to master that discomfort. Because think about it. At one point in time where you are right now, would have been uncomfortable to you. And that is just mind blowing to think about. So always celebrate your small wins and always celebrate your progress, no matter how small it is. And once you do that, repeat all of that over again, because repetition is the only thing that makes it easier and more familiar to you. And you will be on your way to mastering discomfort and finding comfort in discomfort. Oh, Lord. Y'all, let me just say this. I am in a new space and it is hot in here right now, and I am very uncomfortable, but that did not stop me from recording this episode for you today. So this just goes to show how mastering discomfort can really help you push forward in life, okay? So we're going to close out with a very fun segment. For the first few episodes, I'm going to introduce all of my segments so we can just bounce back and forth through them. But today's segment is called Recommendation of the Day. In this segment, I am going to give you a recommendation of the day, whether it's a song to listen to, a book to read, a movie to watch, a recipe to try, any of the above. And if you end up trying out my recommendation, please tag me on Instagram at Affirmations for Black Girls. I would love to see how you like it and give me a little review, because I love to see engagement with my community. So my recommendation for today is to listen to Billy Alsbrooks. I absolutely love this man, y'all. As I said earlier, he's a motivational speaker slash songwriter slash artist.
All you must do is awaken to what is already there. Become who you are. Welcome to the grind. This is Billy Alsbrooks. I am blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory.
And I found him because I was randomly listening to workout music while I was at the gym when I was living in New Jersey. And I was like, who is this man just yelling all of this motivational stuff in my ears and talking about God in the mix of it? So I looked him up, and his name was Billy Alsbrooks, and he has a ton of dope tracks that I listen to while I'm in the gym. It's not really something that I just listen to while I'm sitting in the house. I will say that. So when you go on a walk or if you're going to the gym, definitely pull him up. You can find him on Apple Music, probably Spotify, and all of those other places too. But I absolutely love his tagline, blessed and unstoppable. And he says that in every single one of his songs, and then he'll end with to God be the glory. And I absolutely love that, because granted, there are a lot of like motivational music mixes that you can listen to, but I really love that he includes Bible verses in his, and he always shouts out God. I really, really love that. So that is my recommendation of the day, and that is all we have for this episode of Affirmations for Black Girls. I really hope that you guys take something from this episode and find comfort in your discomfort, whatever that means to you. And I hope you join us again next week for episode 3. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on IG at Affirmations for Black Girls. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Hey y'all, Tyra here. Let me tell you about one of my favorite credit cards. And before you stop listening because I said credit card, hear me out. I used to be terrified of credit cards because honestly, y'all, I would act a fool with mine, and I would spend money on things that I didn't need and rack up thousands of dollars in debt, but only pay the minimum balance, which leads to a lot of interest. So when my score went down to 600, I said, Tyra, enough is enough. And I looked on Credit Karma and saw recommended cards for me based on my credit score. And the first one I saw was the Chase Freedom Card Unlimited. So I applied for it and I got accepted in literally 2 seconds. This card is awesome because it lets you earn $200 cash back after you spend $500 on purchases within the first 3 months. Y'all, that's less than $200 a month on the card. And before you say, Tyra, that's still a lot of money, Those purchases can be anything, bills or any monthly payments you know you already have to pay. So I personally put 1 month of rent on the card and immediately paid it off because I pay rent every month, and I got the $200 cash back just from using my Chase card to pay my rent. And it also has a rewards portal where you can redeem points and cash back for gift cards, trips, and even pay off your credit card. So I recently used the rewards to pay off a meal that I had at Chili's that I put on the credit card. And I also went to Dallas a few months ago and even bought a rental car for my trip through the rewards portal using points that I accrued using the card. Y'all, it's overall a great deal, and I think it's a great introductory card with no annual fees and 0% interest for the first 15 months. That means if you have a balance that rolls over to the next month, you will not have to pay any interest on that amount for the first 15 months. So it helped me build my credit back up, and I think it may help you too. So for your cashback offer, use the link in the show notes to apply for the Chase Freedom Unlimited card today.